So Ryan Bush going to see if they Midwest Drag Racing Series can take a 2-for-2 attempt here at Dorado Motorsports Park this season when they invade Pro Nitrous. So Ryan Bush, tuned by Jeff Pierce here this weekend, going to be the first driver to take time here in professional qualifying. Bush drops the hammer, clean, smooth, right down the racetrack. How about 366 to 206 miles per hour, and what a start for the day. Jeff Pierce comes out and says, you know what, I like what I see out of the racetrack. First car down the racetrack, professional qualifying, 366 to 200 miles per hour, and Ryan Bush, welcome to the PDRA. If you're watching at home on FloRacing, an absolute picture-perfect run for Ryan Bush, other than the parachute coming off the backside of the race car. Luckily, one parachute was enough. Good set of brakes. The 69 model Camaro will go back to the pits, and they'll get that parachute issue fixed. As you're watching overhead from the Resolution Racing Services drone. Clean up the little bit of debris out on the racetrack, get that back to the team, and they'll get to work to get that one back together here for Q2 later on this afternoon. But Ryan Bush says, hey boys, time to beat right now, 366.2. If you want to go to the top of the board, there are 15 cars here this weekend in Pro Nitrous as they lead off the professional sessions. The next class coming up is Pro Boost. If you've paid attention to anything on social media this weekend, 28 cars are going to fight it out here in just a little bit.
Our next pair, Brian Teachman out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina for Three Guns Custom, his 68 Camaro. 660 race car technology, Albert Racing engines, David Thomas Racing. Teachman came out to Bristol, his first stop on tour, and Ed Wilson here on the right-hand side, backing up in a hurry. The 1941 Willys for Smith Brothers Push Rods, Total Seal Driven Racing Oil. And Tyler, Ed Wilson has had some success here of late.
Yeah, he's always had some success here in Benson. Nothing like racing at home. That's what Ed Wilson's doing this weekend. The Aspiration titled Willys. Do believe still sporting carburetors on this one.
Quite possibly the only Pro Nitrous car in the field with carburetors. But yeah, Ed Wilson, I mean, he's had some career bests when we stopped here in the spring, I think, and always a threat on race day.
For sure. Brian Teachman, like you said, making a second stop on tour this year. New Pro Nitrous car. The Gotham City Racing Team. They always have cool looking race cars.
They do. And you know, I've had some people from back home ask me, man, who's this Teachman guy? You know, where's he coming from? I've never seen that car, but very well known in the grudge world.
Yes, and has turned on a lot of win lights and won a lot of big time money and stuff like that. Now is throwing his hat in the ring for Pro Nitrous. Drivers are gonna roll up. Ed Wilson, Brian Teachman put their cars into the beams for Q1.
And Teachman on and off the gas. Wilson's gonna make a clean A to B hit. How about a 370 with a 6 at 200 miles an hour? Great run, maybe personal best for Ed Wilson here on the right side. Our next pair, Tyler, fire to life, Tim Molnar and Brian Schrader. Schrader behind the wheel of the 2017 Corvette they call Pandemonium for Robert Hayes Motorsports with the Pat Musey horsepower underneath the hood scoop. And Tim Molnar here on the right-hand side. Out of Seville, Ohio, the TRM Manufacturing 69 Camaro for Jim Attachments and ARC Gases. Schrader and Robert Hayes have had some success here at Galot Motorsports Park. I'm pretty sure this is where Brian Schrader picked up his first 660 man. And it was all Robert Hayes' final round that year, I believe, with Freddie Scribe alongside.
Yep, that is correct. And Tim Molnar back on tour this weekend. Had a couple of races that he had to miss due to some things at home. Good to see Tim and Ricky back out on tour here with us. The Seville, Ohio-based TRM Manufacturing Gym Attachments Chevrolet Camaro on the right-hand side of the racetrack.
If memory serves me right, Tyler, Tim had some good runs in testing here yesterday.
He did, and coming off of the last time we were here, he's a semifinalist back in the spring. So Tim's always had good luck here at Benson, North Carolina. He's going to try to continue that this weekend.
3 fires and they are off. Wheels up, side by side. They head to the finish line. How about a 368 to a 369? Molnar, the quicker of the two, at 205 miles an hour. But man, a great looking side by side and a pair of 360s.
Man, I just peeked across and told Derek, what a start to Pro Nitrous. If this continues for all of Q1, you better make sure all the seat belts are on, because this is going to be one heck of a session. The next two roll up, Dale Brinsfield and Chris Reaney, the Northern Assassin. Reaney for ATI Performance Products back on tour this weekend, had to miss the Bristol event, but back behind the wheel. Based out of Hickory, North Carolina, Silver Bullet, 69 model Chevrolet Camaro on the right-hand side.
Brinsfield, left side of the racetrack, the Oak Ridge Transfer 2012 Camaro. So Chris Reaney, right-hand side. Brinsfield on the left. 974 cubic inch motors in both these machines. Crew chiefs walk away as the driver heads towards the top bulb on the Christmas tree. Seen some impressive numbers so far this morning here in the opening round of qualifying for Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous. Will we see two more right here? 3 fires and they are off. Brinsfield 371.7, 372.5 for Chris Reaney on the right-hand side. Had to do a little driving out there, but made it A to B. Billy Albert next out on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Whipville, Virginia. The structural mechanical 2020 Camaro for Albert Racing Engines, Total Seal, Wiseco, and Jessel. Hand side, Amber Denton.
Amber has made some changes in that car over the summer break. Came out at Bristol, picked up a big-time hole shot win over Buddy Perkinson. That one gave Amber a lot of confidence coming into Benson this weekend. Her and that race car have had a lot of success here in Benson, North Carolina. Whether her behind the wheel or her father, Tommy Franklin, this car right here has landed in the winner's circle here in Benson, North Carolina a lot of times over its career.
So Albert left-hand side, number 4 qualifier when we stopped at Bristol at our last event. Pre-stage bulbs light up, and here we go. Out and gone, it crushes the tree. Stops the clocks with a 372.4. Billy Albert goes through at a 373.7. Amber's car went out there, hiked the front end up, and was gone. She'll go to number 6 on the sheet. But I tell you what, that 366.2 by Ryan Bush still holding strong. Still some heavy hitters to go, but that was a very strong effort by Bush here in the opening round. So on PDRA Live this past week, we spoke about contenders and spoilers in the category. 2 spoilers are going to line up side by side here in Q1. In Tim Papp on the right-hand side, Auto Body, KTR Drag Racing, Pat Musey Horsepower, Scoop 998 cubic, and Dane Wood left Virginia, the One Trick Pony 2012 Mustang. Bay Concrete, Affordable Trans, BHM Drag Racing, 3 Guns Customs. Ryan McCain does the tuning for the Dane Wood team, and I'm telling you, since he's been on board, Dane Wood driving end of it and has really paid dividends.
Dane Wood is definitely a dangerous contender right now in Pro Nitrous, but another one that sits alongside, and that's Tim Papp. That's Chevrolet Camaro for Team KTR. Been running good the last couple of weekends. Jeffrey Barker been providing the tuning capabilities for Papp. Would love nothing more than to pick up a win here this weekend. Dane Wood, Tim Papp, your next 2. Papp's in trouble. Dane Wood going to take it to the finish line. Goes 375, 199 miles per hour. Speed down a little bit right there for Dane. So they will go back, review the data, see what they possibly missed right there. That will put Dane at number 9 and Tim at number 11. A couple pairs to go. Ryan Bush, that first car down the racetrack, that 366.2 run, that's stout. I knew it was a good run when it happened, but after seeing the rest of the field, Ryan Bush didn't drive all the way from Arkansas to shoot a layup. We went straight for the slam dunk. Scotty, we talked about it on PDRA Live this weekend. These are 2 drivers that if they want a chance at a world championship this season, they have to have a standout weekend. Here at Drag Wars, it's Buddy Perkinson and Freddie Scriba.
Perkinson will be on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Hopewell, Virginia, the LAT Racing Oil 69 Camaro. For Brown Line Construction, Pat Musey Horsepower underneath the hood scoop. And Scriba looking for a little less eventful event here this weekend than he had in Bristol. The Millersville, Maryland-based Sorcerer Camaro for Scriba Welding and Robert Hayes Motorsports.
Most definitely. Bristol was not kind to the Sorcerer Chevrolet out of Maryland. Wasn't kind to Buddy Perkinson either. Buddy went down in the opening round of eliminations, and Freddie, I do believe, did as well. So these 2 drivers come into this weekend 3rd and 4th in the championship standings. They are 3 and 4 rounds out the way it sits right now. They have to perform this weekend. They have to turn on win lights. If you can leave with an event win, even better. But you have to take your own destiny into your hands this weekend. If you want a world championship, if your name is Buddy Perkinson or Freddie Scriba, it all starts right here, the opening round of qualifying. Drop the hammer, Scriba's in trouble. Perkinson will go to the finish line, 368.5, 204 miles per hour for Buddy Perkinson, and that will put him in a good spot after the opening round of qualifying. Currently number 3 with 2 drivers to go in category. Scriba went into tire shake and will currently hold a 520. Says posted elapsed time. Buddy Perkinson going to start the weekend off just the way they want for Team LAT.
So looking over at the staging lanes, Marcus Butner, his car is being pushed out of them. He will not make the run here. Looks like they came up and may have found a problem while sitting in the lanes. Very odd, but Tommy Franklin will be on a single run here to close out Pro Nitrous.
It's not the way you want to start the weekend if you're Marcus Butner. You're coming off a dominating performance in Bristol with low elapsed time of nearly every round. Now, the car doesn't even make it to the ready line for the opening round of qualifying. They're going to push that thing back to the pits, but now all eyes go to Tommy Franklin, currently your championship points leader. Comes in with a round-and-a-half lead over Marcus Butner. Current low elapsed time is Jeff Pierce tuning teammate Ryan Bush, 366.2. Molnar, Buddy Perkinson, 3, both posted 368s.
Tell you, Tyler, what a run by Bush.
Told you it was stout.
That was strong work. Tommy's got his work cut out for him if he wants to go to the #1 spot, because it's only going to get hotter as the day goes on. It's going to be harder to quicker ETs.
Exactly right. Chris Murray's going to walk up, put the finishing touches on the race car. The wheelie bar is exactly where they want it. Tommy's going to put the bottle pressure where it is, and now the final car. Here in Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous, presented by Jerry Bickle Race Cars. It's your #1 in points. The man that everybody is chasing. And right now, Tommy Franklin wants to put a number on the board. Franklin drops the hammer, wheels in the air, straight and true. How about 371.6, 204 miles per hour? It was straight, true, and consistent. But I can tell you that team's not going to be happy with that. 955 down low, 249 to the split, and Tommy Franklin will sit on a 371 to put him slap in the middle of the 14-car field at #6. Ryan Bush will close the opening round as #1. Tim Molnar, 2, Buddy Perkinson, 3, Brian Schrader, 4, and Ed Wilson rounds out your top 5 after one session. The traction tractor makes a quick lap up and back on the racing surface, and here comes Pro Boost. It's been the story of the weekend thus far. 28 cars on the property. 16 spots in round 1 tomorrow. If you want a good start to the weekend, you better go A to B right here in the opening round of qualifying. Sun's out. Track temperature is gaining every minute that we pass by. 28 of the best boosted pro mods on planet Earth have come to Benson, North Carolina this weekend. The brain trusts of WYO Motorsports, Proline Racing, and a host of others all slammed together here on this ground in Benson. First round of qualifying is going to be exciting, Scotty.
Well, you made a good point throughout the week and the weekend that there's going to be cars that do not qualify here that could go anywhere else and win the event. So get ready. A few more laps on our traction tractors, and we will bring out WS Construction Pro Boost presented by Tide Drive and P2 Contracting. So our first two complete their burnout process. Wayne Chambers on the left-hand side of the racetrack out of Burlington, North Carolina. The ex-Donnie Urban championship winning machine now turned into a Pro Boost hot rod. And Tom Blinko here on the right-hand side, the 2026 Camaro. And Tyler, what a ride he went for yesterday.
Yeah, Blinko had his hands full in the shutdown area. I'm not sure what happened, really. Made a pretty clean run to about 590 feet. And after that, kind of, in all other words, can't really say it any other way, all hell broke loose after that. And somehow, Blinko kept that car off both retaining walls, did everything but spin it around in circles, and had no damage. Absolutely gorgeous piece that was just built out of the David Monday Race Cars camp. So Tom did an excellent job saving it, but right now you got to think, hey, we need to get rid of all that bad juju, and we're here to qualify here for Pro Boost. But like you said, the old Donnie Urban car, left-hand side of the racetrack, it's a name we haven't heard in a while.
It may come back from what I hear.
You'll wonder some days. You wonder, can he still get it done? But I guess we'll have to wait and see. So Wayne Chambers, new Pro Boost car. The guy out front might look familiar. Bob Harris pulling Wayne into the beams. They team car to Jason Harris, new to the series. I do hear that they are planning a full tour next season. Chambers and Blinko, first pair here in Pro Boost.
Blinko not going to make the lap. Chambers with a little bit of smoke trailing there on the left-hand side of the car. Goes through at a 377.1 at 202.
Yeah, so Chambers going to get a to B lap right there. Top end crews are going to check that one out. Had a little bit of smoke right as he went past the 8th mile finish line. Blinko stepped out of the loud pedal as it made a move to the center line. Wisely shut it down. He had all the fun he wanted yesterday. He said, I'm out on that, guys.
So all good out on the racing surface, and our next pair will fire to life. Jay Santos and Jeff Rudolph. Rudolph on the burnout tie.
Yeah, Jeff don't play around when it comes to the burnout. Jeff Rudolph left-hand side, the Indiana-based Chevrolet Camaro, and Jay Santos. Santos right side from Canada. The Brampton Pallet 69 model Chevrolet Camaro having a little bit of trouble going into R. Can't find reverse, and I think Rudolph doesn't have a radio. Santos finds R for reverse. Going to get it back to the starting line, and Jason Harris runs out to make sure Jeff Rudolph's got some direction coming back to where he wants to go.
Quite a bit going on out there for just the starting line.
I mean, you know, it's got to keep it exciting. If 28 cars on the grounds wasn't exciting enough, let's add a little bit of drama to it.
So a good look there from the jib camera on flow of Jay Santos. Wild paint job, or wrap, whichever it may be. Jeff Rudolph on the left-hand side, the Ghetto Sleigh. Tyler said out of Brownsburg, Indiana. Pro Charger, M&M Trans, Nitro Graphics, and Proline Racing. Rudolph made some impressive runs in testing here this weekend. First time we've seen him back out here on the PDRA Tour in 2026. Crew chiefs walk away, top bulbs illuminate, and here we go.
Santos going to roll the beams, will not get an elapsed time, and Jeff Rudolph will post a 364 at 210 miles per hour on the board. Santos went to the two-step and car rolled through the beams. So no elapsed time for Jay from the right-hand side is not what you need in a field like this in opening rounds of qualifying. Jeff Rudolph, the Ghetto Sleigh Chevrolet, straight and true. I mean, doesn't get much straighter than that. Down the left-hand side of the racetrack and goes 364 now, posted time.
Pro Street, we need you. Pro Street, we need you for your opening round of qualifying, please. Pro Street, we need you to the staging lanes at this time. And Tyler, we talked about it on PDRA Live. This is not going to be the event where you need to be one round behind in qualifying, where you want to get one round behind in qualifying. So I'm sure Jason and make the necessary adjustments they need to that Camaro. Inside, David Monday out of Maryville, Tennessee for David Monday Race Cars. You just saw his teammate have the 2021 Corvette. How about that left side, Tyler?
Left side, Eric Dillard. Man, the myth, the legend from Proline Racing. Driving the L General Q80 Racing. 69 model Chevrolet Camaro, and that car right there yesterday was low elapsed time of testing. Was the first car down the racetrack. When we opened up for professional testing on Thursday morning and went 358, was low ET of the entire day. Now, atmosphere's a little bit different. Racetrack's a little bit different. Steve Petty, Pedro, Tim Davis, the entire team for L General and Q80 have turned the screws on this one, and they're going to see what they put together for Eric Dillard. Eric, a multi-time race winner in just about every race series imaginable. The owner of Proline Racing. Sit alongside David Monday here in the opening round of qualifying. Monday going to try to do a little bit better than his teammate did a couple of pairs ago. And Eric Dillard going to see if he can repeat that 358 from yesterday. Both cars will go to the top end, and how about Eric Dillard, 365, 208 miles per hour, quicker of the two. David Monday goes 368.1, a little bit late on the parachutes, but looks like he will get it stopped down on top end. But Eric Dillard, the 365, will put him into the number 2 spot, right behind Jeff Rudolph, and David Monday will slide in at number 3.
Rylan Holder here on the right-hand side out of Bakersfield, California. The 27-year-old HVAC technician for Lions PDRA debut here at Drag Wars this weekend. And Chip King on the left-hand side out of Roxborough, North Carolina, the DreamWorks Motorsports 1970 Dodge Charger. Kind of an iconic body style that King's run for quite a few seasons. I believe this is his first stop on tour with us, though, at the PDRA in 2026.
Yeah, two guys we haven't seen this season. Chip we've seen before. Rylan Holder making his Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series debut here this weekend, all the way from Bakersfield, California. That's the other side of the country, in case you wonder. Rylan, a father and son team here this weekend. His dad back in the staging lanes for Pro Street. Their 69 model that you'll see here in a couple of minutes. Chip King clearing out the DreamWorks Motorsports Chargers. My goodness. Got all of them cleared out on the starting line. King left side. Rylan Holder, the young gun out of California. Going to stage it up for his first ever time here at the Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series. And he has found success so far since he's been in this car. Can he find it this weekend? All is going to start right here in Q1.
Three fires and they are off. Side by side, they'll head to the finish line. 3:69.4 going to be the quicker of the two out of Chip King. Brylan Holder goes through at a 3:70 with the 6 at 2:13.
Holder's car into tire shake right past the 60-foot block, and he drives through it. If you watch it back on Flow, that you see it, kind of the camera was on Chip, but Holder's car went out and shook pretty hard right around the 60-foot block. He never lifted off the loud pedal. That's why you see his lap time a little bit slower than what you kind of expected for that run. Ed Burnley and Dwayne Wolf, you're next.
Wolf here on the right-hand side out of Moorfield, West Virginia. The Wolf's Garage 2021 Camaro, and Ed Burnley will be in the Ironman machine. Left-hand side out of Pasadena, Maryland for Premier Concrete Solutions. Burnley, Dwayne Wolf trying to put a number on the board and make their way into the 16-car field.
Burnley all kinds of crossed up, will abort mission, and Dwayne Wolf will go 372.2, 204 miles per hour, and Ed Burnley had his hands full. You're going to watch that one back here in a little bit on FloRacing on an instant replay. But if you look at the chop marks in the racetrack right now, out in the middle, my goodness, what a ride for Ed Burnley. They had that car stacked up to the right-hand side of the groove, and when it got out past the about 60-foot mark, the rear tires said no chance. Ed Burnley drove through it a little bit too far. You saw it kick sideways, but Dwayne Wolf will go 372. And now you've got Carson Perry, the young gun, left-hand side of the racetrack out of Red Top Motorsports. The 22 Corvette will sit alongside Don Tolley.
Yeah, Don Tolley out of Bedford, Virginia for Kowalski Race Engines and Maxima Oil. And Tolley had some fantastic numbers yesterday in pre-race testing. Feel like they might have even been some personal bests.
Yeah, I think he went back-to-back 69s or something like that. So that team creeping up on it every time they come to the racetrack. Carson Perry made his debut at Bristol, and it was a great debut. Didn't turn on a win like one, but it was still a great debut. And everybody in the class now knows that's a hitter, and you cannot take them lightly.
Well, he's teammates with Travis Harvey, who strikes fear in anybody that he sits across from on the starting line. So Carson, solid team with Red Top Motorsports, looking to put a number down here. Don Tolley, if he can repeat his performance in pre-race testing, he'll be just fine as well. So we'll see as they start to head towards the top bulb. Pro Street, we have called you. Pro Street, we need you.
Danny Perry making the tune-up calls for Carson. Father and son team. Sitting alongside Don Tolley, also a father and son team. Eric Holland and all of Red Top. See what Carson's got for him here in the opening round. Red light doesn't matter in qualifying. They're both going to go to the top end. And how about Carson Perry? 363.4, 208 miles per hour, and Carson Perry will go to the top of the sheet. And what a comeback for the left-hand side of the racetrack. You see Ed Burnley kick it sideways and tire shake, and you go, oh boy, is there something wrong? Carson Perry, less than 2 minutes later, goes straight to the top of the leaderboard and goes 363. Don Tolley, a consistent 372.2. That team is making consistent runs down the racetrack.
Mike Decker Jr. left-hand side out of Parrish, Florida, the Decker Salvage 2024 Camaro. And John Dock here on the right-hand side out of Benson, North Carolina, the Cal Maro for Southern Diamond, WP Developments, TKM Performance, RPM Motorsports, and Proline Racing. Cars have attempted. Just saw Carson Perry lay down a 363.4 to go to the top of the charts. Can Mike Decker Jr. or John Dock catapult their way to the top of the standings? We're about to find out. John Dock has a fast hot rod. He laid down some impressive numbers yesterday in testing. And Mike Decker Jr. always a threat when he shows up to a PDRA event. Crew chiefs back away as they'll head towards the top bulb. Decker with all sorts of trouble to the top end, though. Look at John Dock, 361.7 at 207.
That car right there has got a ton of history in it, just continues to make lap after lap after lap. And John Dock now, the time to beat. Carson Perry held on to number 1 for about 2 minutes. And John Dock said, hey guys, excuse me, 361.7, now the time to beat.
Mike Decker III here on the right-hand side out of Woodstock, Maryland. The ISI Demolition 2026 Camaro for Middlesex Metals. Maxima Racing Oils, Decker Salvage, Larry Jeffers Built Machine. And Gabriel Andino, left-hand side for Phantasma Racing, the 69 Camaro, Proline, and Fuel Tech on board. And Gabriel's been looking good out here on the PDRA Tour this season.
Andino drives it all over the racetrack. Mike Decker will get there first, 367.4, 203 miles per hour, and Gabriel Andino had to drive it all over the left-hand side of the racetrack, 373, his posted elapsed time. You know, we talk about it all the time. Q1's arguably the most important run of the weekend. Some teams have hit it, some teams have not. But we still got a lot more to go. And now we're getting into the people who are higher points qualifying, higher points earners for the year. And you got 2 veterans in category, Randy Weatherford and Kurt Stedding.
And Tyler, after 15 cars have taken time so far. But for Randy Weatherford, left-hand side out of Danville, Virginia, the WS Construction 69 Camaro for Proline, Fuel Tech, and Hart's Charger. And Kurt Stedding here on the right-hand side out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania for P2 Contracting, P2 Paving, NGK, Tie Drive, YO Motorsports, and Redline Oil. Battle of the Contractors here on the starting line here in Q1. WS Construction Pro Boost presented by P2 and Tide Drive.
Battle of the class sponsors too, actually. Two guys that believe in what we do here at the Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series. Three guys, actually. Randy Weatherford, Todd Tutterow, and Kurt Stedding. All three partnered together once again this season to bring Pro Boost to the forefront of 8th mile drag racing. Now these two drivers sit alongside of each other in the opening round of qualifying. Both of them brand new cars this season. Randy left-hand side in the 69 model Camaro. Kurt Stedding, the brand new 26 model Chevrolet Corvette. Only got 2 races on it. Kurt's hoping the third one is the best one. Here we go, round number 1 of qualifying.
Kurt with the front end hiked up, heads towards the finish line, but look at Randy Weatherford's scoreboard. 362.9 at 208, but Stedding has got to be happy. 365.1 will land him number 5 currently.
High fives on both sides of the racetrack right there. Kurt Stedding, his best run thus far in the Chevrolet Corvette. That thing was wheels in the air most of the front half of the run. Kurt's going to be happy with this one as both of them go to the top 5 so far.
Joel Winsley, Fletcher Cox going to be our next pair out. Joel having a little bit of issues here in the turnout. Gets it figured out though. Joel out of Brooklyn Mid. And DeSoma Race Engines. And Fletcher Cox on the left-hand side, the fixed income 1969 Camaro for DeSoma, KTR, Diamond Pistons, VP Race Fuels, and LAT Oils. New sponsor on the quarter panels this weekend for Fletcher Cox and Hagen Cattle Company.
Yeah, Matt and Fletcher have kind of gone in together on a business venture outside of racing. Two good friends are partnered up. Two excellent drag racers in their own right. Now Fletcher Cox has been a strong contender since he moved into the Pro Boost category. The fixed income Chevrolet Camaro left-hand side of the racetrack. Team KTR. Big Phil Schuler standing alongside that car. Just got done setting the wheelie bars. Sit alongside Joel Winsley. Winsley, the Liberty's Gears Chevrolet Camaro, tuned by Patrick Barnhill. Team PTP on board this weekend. Just about every weekend for Team Winsley. Both drivers stage them up. They drop the hammer. Fletcher's out of power. Winsley going to go to the top end, go 370, 207 miles per hour, and Fletcher Cox might have shook the power off on that one. Something along those lines. I'm not sure what happened to Fletcher, but before the Christmas tree, that car went silent.
Tyler Fletcher finds himself in that spot that nobody wants to be in. They're one run behind now, and ultra competitive field here this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. It's not the way you want to start qualifying, but really the way they ended testing wasn't good. Had a supercharger knock off the top of the engine on a backfire, and then they come back right here. I'm not sure if they had to swap motors. Not sure what happened there, but if something went awry for the opening round of qualifying for the big guy.
So Ethan Stedding next out, left-hand side out of Carnegie, Pennsylvania. The P2 Contracting 69 Camaro, P2 Paving, Redline Oil, Tie Drive, YO Motorsports, and NGK Spark Plugs. And our most recent winner on tour going to line up here on the right-hand side, Ned Dumpy out of Roswell, Georgia. The Driven Racing Oil 2024 Camaro for Noonan Race Engineering and Proline. Dumpy utilized a trip zip reaction time in eliminations to get the job done when we stopped at Thunder Valley.
Two guys you got to keep an eye on, but right now I think my attention goes to Ethan Stedding. You just saw Kurt make the best run he's made in the Corvette yet. Ethan made 2 runs yesterday that were really strong, but it knocked the burst panel out of it both times when he went through the finish line. Ned Dunphy, your last winner on tour, has been consistent all season long. But right now, I think you got to watch the young gun for Team P2. Both drop the hammer. Dunphy, how about 361.4, 208 miles per hour, and your last winner on tour leaves the starting line 003 and goes to the top of the leaderboard. 361.4. Ned Dunphy said, "Bristol wasn't a fluke. We're here to stay."
Raymond Matos, Melanie Salemi, going to be our next pair out. Matos on the left-hand side out of Beaumont, Puerto Rico. The PMS Race Cars Proline 2025 Camaro, and Melanie Salemi out of Buffalo, New York, here on the right-hand side for Resolution Racing Services. Mike Stawicki Racing, Ali Installations, and Purple Rain had an eventful test session yesterday when a brand new hose leaked oil underneath her tires during the burnout and sent the Purple Rain machine into the retaining wall on the left side of the racetrack. You notice the duct tape on the left front of that car. She did make contact. The crew went to work. When they got it back to the pit area, replaced all the broken pieces. So you see it there on the flow screen. All things look normal on this side, but definitely some extensive repair throughout the evening on the left front of the Melanie Salemi machine.
Raymond Matos, another one of those guys that we say his name a lot and just comes up on the wrong side of wind lights. Brandon Stroud's got a tune up in that one. We'll see what Raymond Matos has for us. For right now, I think all eyes are on Melanie Salemi. Melanie into tire shake, out of the pedal. Matos 365, 208 miles per hour for PMS Race Cars. Puerto Rico will post a 365 and put him at the number 8 qualifying spot. Melanie and team will go back after severe tire shake from the right-hand side of the racetrack.
Ty Tutterow next out here on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Yadkinville, North Carolina. The Justin Smith-owned Quick Fuel 68 Camaro for YO Motorsports, Dogwood Graphics, and Redline Oil. Kid, left-hand side, Travis Harvey out of Burlington, North Carolina for Holland Enterprises, Red Top Trucking, and Proline Racing. The 2019 Camaro. His teammate, Carson Perry, laid down a 63.4. Race weekend and win at Maryland, and then was number 16 when we stopped at the mountain at Bristol, Tennessee. Looking for a little redemption here in qualifying, trying to move up the qualifying sheet. Ty Tutterow has had some success here at Galot Motorsports. Both cars work their way to the top bulb, and here we go. Travis goes nowhere. Tutterow on a run. How about a 3:59.8 at 208 miles an hour straight to the top of the charts for Ty Tutterow. Not sure what happened there to Travis Harvey's machine, but it didn't even make it to the 60-foot timer. Ty Tutterow was 9:14 down low. 3:59.8 at 208 goes straight to the top of the sheet. PDRA 632 presented by Mark Williams will take you to lane 632. We'll take you to the staging lanes for your opening round of qualifying, please. 632 to lane. So our final pairing category, fire to life and pull through the water box. Number 1 and 2 in the championship standings. Number 2, Johnny Camp out of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania, the Hells Bells 69 Camaro for Pro Charger, NGK, Proline, Advanced Medical, and Camp Brothers Enterprises. And here on the right-hand side, the Drive for 5, Jason Harris out of Pittsboro, North Carolina, the Party Time Camaro for Southern Diamond, TKM, Proline, Harts Charger, M&M Trans, and Hoosier Tire. Jason currently with about a 3-round lead in the championship standings. And if you're at home and wondering why we keep harping so much about the championships, because it's this race and one more is all you got to get it done.
That's exactly right, Scotty. And 2 cars that have sat atop the sheet most of the season. Johnny Camp needs a huge weekend. Ty Tutterow does as well. Ty just posted a 3:59 right on the right-hand side of the racetrack, now where the Party Time Chevrolet Camaro sits. If you're Jason Harris, you are licking your chops right now, knowing that it is out there. Had the best car on tour all season. Why you are currently leading the championship standings by nearly 3 full rounds. Johnny Camp has got to out-qualify or qualify right with Jason Harris to not make that points lead grow another round this weekend. Jason Harris, pressure's on. Everybody's gunning for you. Opening round of qualifying, final pair in category. 2 flat hoods, 2 centrifugal powered hot rods sit alongside of each other here on the starting line, Dorana Motorsports Park. Tree Fires, final pair, gonna go door to door. Top end goes, how about Johnny Camp? 362.7, 209 miles per hour will out-qualify Jason Harris by 0.6 of a second. Harris, 363.3 will put him number 6. Johnny Camp goes 4. And your top 5 after an exciting opening round of qualifying: Ty Tutterow, Ned Dunphy, John Dock, Johnny Camp, and Randy Weatherford. And oh, by the way, the bump spot after one session, 370 with a 6. Buckle up. Next 2 are going to be exciting.
.632, we need you to the lanes, please. 632, we need you. So now we're going to make the jump into Liberty's Gears Pro Street, presented by KTR Drag Racing.
So here we go, Scotty. It is time for Liberty Gears Pro Street, presented by KTR. Round number 1 of qualifying here this Friday afternoon at Drag Force, presented by Big Stuff. And we're going to kick things off with Roger Holder and Lucas Salemi. It's been a mad dash to the starting line to the clearance center New York Chevy 2 that you see on the right-hand side, a very short burnout. And a newcomer, per se, behind the wheel of this race car, Lucas Salemi, handled that chaotic situation, I think, very well.
Yeah, we've seen the machine on tour with Bobby Bingham behind the wheel, but now Lucas straps on his helmet, and Roger Holder on the left-hand side out of Bakersfield, California. Son is number 16 in that Pro Boost field. We'll see what he can do here in Pro Street. Out and away, Holder is to the top end. How about a 4:13.2 at 190 to start us off, Derek?
Yeah, Roger Holder makes a nice, and he made good runs yesterday in testing as well. And Lucas Salemi, seen the car just strike the tire right at the head, went out, pedaled it, and it did the same exact thing a second time, and he aborted the run, coast on down at 6:11 at only 116 miles an hour. We go back and watch the instant replay on FloRacing, and Roger Holder's car made a very clean run, A to B, all the way down the 660-foot race course, and exactly how they drew it up. So they'll go back, make some changes, and come back for Q2 later this afternoon.
We often refer to Pro Street as the car showing category, and 2 more just absolutely beautiful machines back up. Derek Brown on the left-hand side out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The 69 Nova, and Josh Davis coming over from the drag and drive side of the world out of Spartanburg, South Carolina for HCR Innovations, Holly, Performance Fab, and Davis Technologies in the 2019 Mustang. .632, we need you. If you're not in the staging lanes, you're late. .632, we need you to the lanes, please. So Derek Brown left side, Josh Davis here on the right.
Josh and Devin Vanderhoop with that Ford Mustang coming out of South Carolina, made the trip north this weekend. Bruce slicks on it, trying to compete in the very competitive Pro Street category here. Well, testing yesterday. Sun's out, hot racetrack, here we go. Pedal fest out there, down course for both cars. Derek's going to go 412, 175, 433, 181 miles an hour for Josh Davis. Derek Brown goes to the top of the qualifying order by just 1/100th of a second, excuse me, over Roger Holder. See, Josh, he went into stage and flickered that top bulb, but threw him off. See the late reaction time there, and then the car started to drift to the left. We'll pedal once or twice to try and get it to recover, and that cost them the run they were hoping for.
Tim Lyons, Ron Fisher going to be our next pair out onto the racing surface. First time we've seen Ron Fisher's Chevelle on tour. The Resto Mod, National Insurance, New Battery Solutions, YO Motorsports. Out of Brooksville, Florida. And Ron Fisher came out and made a great run in testing. Looks like it's not backing up currently, though. We'll see if Fisher can find reverse. But that Chevelle appears to be sitting out there dead in the water. Lyons will be on the right-hand side. Out of Ringgold, Georgia, the Lyons Custom Motorsports 66 Chevy 2 for Pro Charger, Pro Line, M&M, and Mincer Motorsports. Ty Tutterow went down there, and here he comes. Ron Fisher finally backs up on the left-hand side. just watched Derek Brown on and off the gas go 4:12 with a 2, and that went to number 1. If Fisher can repeat his performance here yesterday, he should put that Chevelle up into the top spot. Tim Lyons sits over here on the right-hand side. Also very capable machine of getting it done. Track they go. Lions with a 4:04.2 to go to the top of the sheet, and a 4:15.4 for Ron Fisher.
Yeah, how about Tim Lyons, the #1 qualifier in the category, and Ron Fisher, he had his own sort of issues over there after the burnout. Thought they were going to have to abort the run and out a #4 qualifying effort currently in session.
In a pit area, Super Street will take you to the staging lane. Super Street will take you to the lanes, please. Graham Hayes next out, left side of the racetrack at La Crosse, Virginia. The bad draw, 66 Chevy 2 for Hayes Construction, Goldfinger Tuning, Performance Fab, and Par Racing Engines. And Mikey Cecina here on the right-hand side out of Golden, Colorado, the on-track performance parts 03 Mustang for KTR.
Talk about a car that's been very impressive. Mikey Cecina, we think back to Bristol, and a guy that really dominated in testing and qualifying and ran well in elimination, brings this momentum here this weekend into Vincent. Graham Hayes, final one to stage, left side. They're out and away. Cecina's car chatters the tires, and impact fires into the run, and Graham's going to go 4:57. Both machines had issues. Graham's going to slide to number 6. And Mikey, as we've seen with a couple other cars in the category, that just about 100 feet out.
Well, he didn't sound like the car wanted to shift or went up on the high side or something, and Graham late black tracked it all the way down the 8th mile over there on the left side.
Yeah, a lot of wheel speed the entire length of the race course.
J.R. Webb, Chris Tootin going to be our next pair out. Webb on the left-hand side. West Virginia based 1970 Camaro they called Jinx for JR's Fab and Body and Weld Racing wheels. Chris Tootin here on the right-hand side at Apelion, South Carolina, the Green Goblin 87 Mustang from Muffler Shop of Columbia. Torque Converter Services, on the side customs, Brian's Heating and Cooling.
Good run for Webb. How about 4:05, 183. Chris Tootin went towards the center line, aborts it early at 4:82. But those are two machines that are top runners in the category without a doubt. And Webb continues the success here in the opening round of qualifying. Misses the top spot by just 1/100th of a second. Tim Lyons, who went 4:04.2, 191, still stays in the top spot for right now. Andy Mack next out here on the right-hand side out of Waynesboro, Georgia. The Cox Racing 69 Camaro for Andy's Auto and Diesel. RK Racecraft, Homier Fabrications, got a Pat Musey mill underneath the hood scoop, 959 cubic inches worth. And Tim Essick, fresh off a runner-up finish.
past world champion in the category. The 2018 Mustang for Maxima Racing Oil Pro Charger and Atomizer Racing Injectors. See Fletcher reaching in, opening up the door there on Andy Mack's machine as he purges the nitrous. Tim Essick has had a consistent machine there on the left-hand side of the racetrack. Thumbs up from the crew members, and these two machines will head towards the top bulb on the Christmas tree. Side by side, this pair is going to go to the stripe. Top end, how about new number 1 and number 2? Tim Essick goes number 1 with a 4.021 at 191, and Andy Mack follows him through at a 4.037, 188. Great runs here in the opening stanza for our Pro Street machines. Super Street, you should be in the lanes. If you're not, you're late. Super Street, we need you to the staging lanes, please. Watching it back on Flo, Derek, man, that's just a great side-by-side, straight as an arrow, right down the center of the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. Your top 4 in the category are just separated by 0.03 of a second. And I think you're going to see some bigger runs bottom half of the cars get it figured out for Q2. There's some big names in the category that are at the bottom half of the field. And here comes your next pair. The left-hand side of the racetrack, that's going to be the Chesterfield, Virginia-based Pontiac Firebird. Ron Green and Jerry Mercado right alongside the Florida-based Mustang. And two cars are more than capable of going into the top of the qualified order.
Yeah, Ron Green had some good runs in testing yesterday. Currently number 6 in the point standings. Morgano here on the right side. He's your number 5 point sitter and has a chance. Going to need a little help to get to the top, but does have a chance to walk away at the end of the year a champion.
Yeah, if you're Jerry Morgano, you got to qualify well, get those qualifying points. You can turn on wind lights and hope the cards kind of fall in your favor. There's just 2 events remaining here in 2026 between here and the World Finals coming up in Virginia in a few weeks. Grab a handful of wheel, and Ron Green streaks on by. Hello to your new number 1 qualifier here in the category at Benson today. 398.4, 196 miles an hour. Ron Green's Pontiac, top of the leaderboard by 0.04 of a second, and that's a very stout run. Tim Essex at 2, Andy Mack's 3, Tim Lyons 4. J.R. Webb rounds out your top 5 right now at 4.052. But Jerry Morgano, that car pushed hard to the left-hand side, nearly takes out the 330-foot cone, and he affords the run from there.
Well, Derek, something we haven't even talked about yet is that there's more than 16 of these machines on property, so there will be a couple that do not make the show. Our next pair, Joe Winsley Jr., a winner on tour this season. The New Hudson, Michigan, the 2014 Camaro for Liberty's Gears and PTP Racing, and Scott Kincaid out of Thornhill, Tennessee, here on the right-hand side for Clinch Mountain Transport, VP Race Fuels, and KTR Drag Racing.
Well, and you got to remember, this category Pro Street right now has the tightest points battle. 1 point separates 1 and 2 in the championship standings. You've had 4 races with 4 different winners. So make it 5 here in this weekend. We'll find out tomorrow.
And you talked about that points battle. Scott Kincaid, who sits here in the silver Camaro on the right side of the racetrack, he is number 3, roughly 2 rounds out of the points lead. His teammate Richard Reagan, who is yet to run, sits in front of him, and Blake Denton, class leader in the championship standing.
Yeah, so the teammates are both headhunting Blake Denton, trying to take him out, and that's got a lot of pressure on Blake, but a kid that handles it very well and is doing fantastic behind the wheel of his Chevrolet Camaro. Right now on the starting line, Joel Winsley left-hand side, Scott Kincaid right side. They are in the pre-stage beat, 398 or better, goes to the top of the leaderboard.
Tree fires, and it's a wheels up for Kincaid to the finish line at a 4 flat even, or 4 smooth, as Timmy says. 4:11.7 for Joel Winsley, but that'll move Kincaid to number 2. And man, they had the crankshaft up in the air that time.
Yeah, Scott Kincaid's car looked very strong out there, and I'm wondering, go back and watch the instant replay here. Just about 200 feet out, starts to pull the front end up and carries it to at least 500 feet. Car stayed straight, and not the first time we've seen that out of Scott Kincaid. That car used to almost have that every single pass they came to the starting line. So wondering if that didn't cost him just a little bit in elapsed time. But needless to say, they are number 2 right now. Joel Winsley Jr. number 7 with 4:11.
Our final pair in category, number 1 and 2 in points. As Derek talked about earlier, they're only 1 point separating these 2 machines. Blake Denton is your points leader. He'll be on the right-hand side out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, in Bonnie, Lizzie Musey's old car. 69 Camaro for Franklin Electric, Smart Com, Redline Oil, Weld Racing, Lincoln Electric, and Robert Hayes Motorsports. And Richard Reagan, teammate to Scott Kincaid, over on the left-hand side out of Rutledge, Tennessee, his 1991 Mustang we call Air Force One. Lions Custom Motorsports on board his hot rod as well, and you can see the graphic on the flow screen. 9 round wins apiece. Each of them have been in 1 final round. Each of them have 1 race win, and 1 point separate them in the standings. Going to be a dogfight between here and our final event of the season in 3 short weeks. Reagan left side, Denton here on the right. Will we see a new number 1 qualifier? 398 or better, as Derek said last time. Let's see if they can get it done.
Both cars look strong early on. Top into the racetrack. How about 399-1, 199 for Blake Denton. Richard Reagan's going to trail at 408, 191 the speed. So that Chevrolet Camaro goes to number 2 by 7,000. Behind Ron Green, Richard Reagan will take over to the number 8 spot. So the top 8 in the category: Ron Green, Blake Denton, Scott Kincaid, Tim Messick, Andy Mack, Tim Lyons, J.R. Webb, and Richard Reagan. 398 down to 408. It separates top half here in Pro Street qualifying.
So Derek, now we move in to PDRA Pro 632, presented by Mark Williams. Our first pair out onto the racing surface, Pat Patterson on the left-hand side out of Wesley Chapel, Florida. The Insolent Racing 69 Camaro, and Tara Jarvis here on the right-hand side. The Modifier Fitness 05 S10. First time, I believe, Patterson.
So Tara Jarvis, right side of the racetrack, that Jarvis Marine Chevrolet S10. Purge the nitrous into the atmosphere, and they had some issues in testing yesterday. Hopefully got it figured out. You see Tom down there giving the thumbs up, and they're going to pull her for it. Tara Jarvis kept it off unbelievably, kept it off the wall. The car almost flipped over and left before the tree even activated, but a very chaotic moment to say the least, and Tara Jarvis's Chevrolet S10 is sitting there at rest, left-hand side of the racetrack, in one piece. Watch this. You go back on Flow Instant Replay, and wow. Just stays with it way too long into the run, unfortunately, and then it goes south, rolls up there on the left-hand side, and all 4 tires come completely off the ground. Looks like a bucket Bronco as it comes to a stop out there. PBR, Professional Bull Riders. That's what it almost felt like.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Virginia, get ready for a 4-day full throttle weekend. September 17th through 20th, Virginia Motorsports Park, the Pro-Line Racing PDRA World Final. Thursday, fans get in free for the PDRA Pro Stars race. Friday night, the party's on with Lady Smith live on stage. Saturday's Night of Fire with Jet Cars, Nostalgia Fun Cars, and more. Sunday, World Champions race for the crown. Buy a PDRA Fast Pass, just $30. Good Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See it, hear it, feel it. PDRA.
You're watching the Redline Oil PDRA on Flow Racing, the most competitive heads-up 8th mile racing in the world.
I'm down here with Mr. Ed Wilson, and you go a 370, a really respectable run for Q1. How excited are you about that?
Really tickled.
Tickled pink.
Yeah. Tickled red.
And you said that you've had a consistent race car all through testing, and I'm sure you're feeling really good about this weekend after putting a 370 up.
Yeah, we broke a rear end the first run, and we weren't sure about this one, but I think we'll be all right. It's not too noisy yet.
I think you did all right, and I look forward to watching you race this weekend, Mr. Ed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And 452, 155. Run there for Patterson.
Carson Hole, right-hand side out of Hickory, North Carolina for ATI Performance Products, Maxima Oils, Mazier, and Fuel Tech. And our most recent winner on tour, left-hand side of the racetrack, and Ryan Altman for Greenbrier Excavating, his 2018 Camaro, Barry Allen Race Engines, PTP Racing, and Mickey Thompson Tires.
They are really dead even at half track and top of the racetrack. Ryan Altman, 4.206, and by 0.05 of a second, Carson Hoyle is going to be quicker at 4:20 with a 1:167.66 the numbers. And the ATI Chevrolet Camaro, Carson Hoyle is going to sit at the top of the leaderboard right now here in Pro 632.
Cook Jr. on the right-hand side from nearby New Bern, North Carolina, the Lightning McQueen 2010 GTO for ABHW Concrete Ready Mix, Copy and Print Warehouse, and Cook Construction. Ventura left-hand side out of Pompano Beach, Florida, the Gladiator X 1970 Camaro for Procom, ELS, AMS Oil, HRE Racing Engines, Brand X Marine, and Mickey Thompson. Top Sportsman, we need you. Top Sportsman for Q2. We need you, the lanes, please. Top Sportsman, we need you.
Final movement of the beams, David Cook moves towards the right side of the groove a bit. Steers it back in, 431, 164. Jason Ventura had some issues. It clicks it early. The Gladiator X Camaro, is 505, 101.
Final parent category, number 1 and 2 in the point standings. They've traded that position back and forth. Jeff Pittman will be on the left-hand side out of Conover, North Carolina for Hickory Enclosed Trailers. Racing Performance Motor Coaches, the 68 Chevelle for Team Greenbrier. And on the right-hand side, J.C. Beatty Jr. out of Baltimore, Maryland for ATI Performance Products. Jessel, J.E. Pistons, Total Seal Rings, 2018 Camaro. Less than a round separate them in the point standings. This one will probably come down to the World Finals in just 3 weeks. Top Sportsman, we've called you. Top Sportsman, we've called you for Q2. Top Sportsman cars, we need you for Q2, please.
About a 005 reaction time. J.C. Beatty Jr. 4:17.4 to the 4:17.1 of Jeff Pittman for the Hickory Enclosed Trailers. That Chevelle going to go to the top of the board by 0.03 of a second. Great side-by-side drag race to end out Q1 of Pro 632. And we'll look at qualifying here quickly as the tractors will take the racing surface. Little broom and groom out there. Jeff Pittman, J.C. Beatty, Kirsten Hoyle, Ryan Altman, David Cook, Patrick Patterson, and Jason Ventura. 1 through 7 in Pro 632 qualifying. starting line. That 97 Chevy Camaro, staged and ready. How about 003? Willie, 557, 128.
Next pair, Brooks McMath on the left-hand side. Great to see the McMath family back out here on the PDRA Tour. WL Black and Associates. 660 race car technologies. Pat Musey horsepower underneath the hood of that 76 Camaro. And Frank Cifelli here on the right-hand side of Partlow, Virginia. The GDC Trucking 86 Monte Carlo. For Frank's Truck and Autos, Summit Recycling, and Builder's Choice Concrete.
So the teams will back away. McMath comes to the pre-stage beam left side. Frank Cifelli just about set to go. Peabody Monte Carlo for GDC Trucking. McMath pedals at once and top into the racetrack. 5:01, 149. 5:03 there for Frank Cifelli at 146 miles an hour. Brooke will be your #1 qualifier, and we'll find out how long that's going to hold as two more cars roll around the bend.
So our next pair here in 1320 Fab Super Street, presented by Brian's Heating and Cooling. A pair of Fox bodies that have been making some noise in category. Charles Potter and Mike Freeman. Freeman here on the right-hand side out of Fort Myers, Florida, the 88 Mustang. Potter on the left-hand side out of Leesville, South Carolina for CPR Performance, his 84 Mustang.
Look at the numbers early on for Charles Potter. How about 462? Nice run, 153. Freeman's going to trail him at a 469. Their Ford Mustangs will be 1 and 2 right now in qualifying by nearly 4/10 of a second.
Kenny Fox next out on the left-hand side. out of Mechanicsville, Maryland. The blank slate 89 Mustang out of Campanaro Motorsports. And Troy Hill out of Amelia, Virginia, the Greens Auto and Towing 2000 Mustang owned by Waverly Green. And Troy kind of had his breakout race at our last event on tour where he claimed a runner-up finish in category.
How about Troy Hill, right side, 465.5, 157 for his Mustang out of Virginia. Kenny Fox had some issues, 485. It looks like as he's trailing down the left-hand side of the racetrack, and Troy Hill takes the number 2 spot here in qualifying by 0.04 of a second over Mike Freeman.
Dan Wetstein on the right-hand side out of La Plata, Maryland in red velvet. His 1990 Mustang out of Essex Motorsports, Mincer Motorsports, ATI Performance Products, UPR, Maxima Atomizer, and Pro Charger. Past champion in the category. And Matt Shallow took the Bristol race off. He's back out here at Galat Motorsports Park in his War Pig 69 Camaro for Canerium Race Engines, bootleg tunes, 1320 Fab, and Ion Suspension Solutions. Oh, the tree fires. This pair's off side by side. They'll march down the 660-foot race course to a 58.4 for Matt Shallow. Great run for the War Pig. And Wetstein going to follow him through at a 471.5, but Matt Shallow to the top by 0.04 of a second. Great run there for Matt Shallow and his team. So number 1 and 2 in the point standings. Currently, Austin Vincent on the right-hand side of the racetrack is your points leader out of Central City, Kentucky. For Vincent Performance, Fuel Tech, Nitrous Express, Modern Supply, Afterworks, Maxima Oil, Steffs, and Diamond Pistons. Connor McGee will be alongside your reigning world champion in the category out of Pelion, South Carolina for Brian's Heating and Cooling. Driven Racing Oil, Bucked Up Energy, and Fulton Race Engines. These two have been class standouts so far here this season in Super Street. Number 1 and 2 in the point standings. Let's see if they can surpass Shallow's 58.4, which is a very stout run.
Yeah, so Connor McGee made a change after Bristol. Went from a dual system to a single stage system. And I believe that was a 50-pound weight reduction that he got for doing that. And we'll talk to him a little bit more on FloRacing, do an interview this weekend to get the details. But Austin Vincent, Connor McGee, they have just been absolutely back and forth at each other. And we talked about the cool stories about these race cars and the histories of them. Of course, Connor's dad Drove that race car for many years in NMCA competition or NMRA competition. And the same for Austin Benson, wheeling that 88 model Mustang over here on the right-hand side out of Kentucky. Staged and ready. Better reaction time went to Vincent. Watch the finish line stripe. The scoreboards will appear 458.9, 468.157 for Connor McGee. Then the left-hand side of the racetrack, and Matt Shallow will end the session number 1 by thousandths of a second.
Now we make the jump over to MagnaFuel Top Sportsman Q2, and kind of knew it was Mike King by the sound of the burnout. He'll back up that 63 split window on the left-hand side, finds himself number 50 and on the sheet after the first attempt. He won a 476. And Joe Robachek here on the right-hand side, your points leader on the back half. Top Sportsman for Big Stuff, Total Power Management, Sonny's Racing Engines, and Mazier. He's number 29 on the sheet so far at a 435.4. And issues for King. Joe Robachek goes through at a 427. King having back-to-back issues here in qualifying. Travis Butler, left side of the racetrack out of Poquoson, Virginia. The Peninsula Automotive 53 Corvette for Hampton Roads Landscaping. Number 30 on the sheet at a 437.0. And the Ford Mustang here on the right-hand side out of Georgia for Lions Custom Motorsports. Number 25 on the sheet at a 431.6. Top end they go. 418 for Vernon Grizzle, his best effort. 437.7, only very 7th out for Travis Butler. But Vernon Grizzle going to be the first car on the outside looking in on the elite side at a 418.9. You can see on the scoreboard that 415, that's Mike Alexander Jr.'s number, and that is the bump spot to get on the elite field. Daryl Joy next out, left side out of Marion, South Carolina. The 92 Firebird's been a 509, landed number 52 on the sheet. And David Whedon here on the right-hand side for CMR Crane and Rigging. Albert Race Engines, 660 Race Car Technology, and Rogers Automotive. He's your number 21 qualifier at a 425.2. leading is 007 letting go. 440 with a 1, 511 with a 1 for Daryl Joy left side. 10 red letting go. John Benoit left side of the racetrack. Benoit Electric 2015 C7 Corvette. Comes in number 12 on the elite side, won a 406 with a 4. And Jason Mills here on the right-hand side, the JM Transit 02 Firebird for Mission Critical Power. He's number 46 on the sheet at a 463. John is 004 letting go, 411 with a 5, 467 for Jason Mills on the right-hand side, just 25 letting go. Zach Hauser, Brian Wise. Zach Hauser, your points leader on the elite side of things, left side of the racetrack out of Lincoln, North Carolina. The Teddy Hauser race cars, Pro Charger, H&H Towing, 2000 Firebird. Brian Wise here on the right-hand side out of Ashland, Virginia, the 67 Chevy 2.
So Zach Hauser is guided to the pre-stage beam, left-hand side of the racetrack. That Pro Charge Pontiac Firebird 380 player, what we've seen in the opening session of qualifying earlier this morning. And Brian Wise, he is staged and ready. Hauser's car, a nice run to the finish line stripe. How about 386 in the heat of the day? 189 miles an hour. Brian Wise is going to go 453, 4 thousandths of a second slower than what we've seen in Q1. So a very consistent race car for Brian Wise.
Mackenzie Alexander next down on the right-hand side, the 67 Camaro. Alexander Backhoe Service, FMJ and Sun Constructions, number 53 on the sheet at a 527. And Kenzie Whitley, left-hand side out of Locust, North Carolina, number 34 on the qualifying sheet in the Monte Carlo, a 439.5.
Let's go 27,000 suit and 441 the end result there on the First Federal side of the racetrack. Kenzie Alexander there on the right side, 487 and 143.
Randy Ferguson, Brian LaFlamme. LaFlamme here on the right-hand side out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The big stuff, Total Power Management 67 Mustangs, your number 2 qualifier, won a 378.8. And Randy Ferguson in that brand new ride on the left side. Number 7 out of 386.5.
Two race cars that are solidly qualified in elite top sportsman. Randy Ferguson, far side of the racetrack, and first gen. Charcoal and maroon Chevrolet Camaro. The multicolored Ford Mustang and Brian LaFlamme. Sports Team Big Stuff presenting sponsor here this weekend. A little bit of tire chatter down low, but drives through it. And LaFlamme to the other end at 382, 192. 387 there, 189 miles an hour. Randy Ferguson, that car is starting to be very consistent and print back-to-back time slips within just a few thousandths of a second of each other. Brings up your next pair, right side, Dennis Klein. That is the Beretta out of Athens, Alabama. 632 cubic inches of Chevrolet horsepower. And Mike Keeler, the also popular 63 split window Corvettes, over 700 cubic inches, to be your number 13 qualifier now at 408. Dennis Klein for Team Huntsville Engines. They've got that car solidly qualified in the back half of Top Sportsman for the nitrous from Induction Solutions. We'll approach the starting line here momentarily. Car trips towards the center line just a bit. He reels her back in at 438, slows up 0.03 of a second from Q1. 412, 176 the speed for Mike Keeler's Corvette to be number 13 still in category. No improvement by either driver there. Now it's going to be Sean Morrison and Mark Reed. Burnouts complete left-hand side of the racetrack for the Dinwiddie base. 2008 Ford Mustang and a CP Anderson Trucking. 706 cubic inches of nitrous-fed horsepower. And Sean Morrison, North Carolina, Apex where they call home, a 67 Chevy 2. Beautiful race car. 632 cubic inch Chevrolet. Got a 480 player here on the right side. Mark Reed had issues in the opening round of qualifying, and that car should be in the 430 range, low 430s, high 420s. There for Sean Morrison. 1,000 for perfect. 485, 146 on the right side. Mark Reese gets the run they were looking for. 427 with a 9. The Ford Mustang's going to slide to number 25 here at Top Sportsman qualifying Q2. There's that 78 Camaro out of Piedmont. Cletus Croft. First Federal side of the racetrack, and Derek Barnes, he'll complete his burnout second for 762 cubic inches of Chevrolet horsepower in that 99 Model S 10 for the Excavator out of Maryland. Cletus had issues. Q1 has not on the racetrack beyond the qualified sheet currently. Derek Barnes went 435. They'll be 29. Qualified order right now. Croft took his time to stage. Now they're set. Looks to be a good run out of the Chevrolet Camaro. Croft's going to go 417 here this afternoon at 173. 434, 167 miles an hour. Bard picks up a few thousandths of a second. And Cletus Croft is going to be number 17. He is outside looking in of the elite field by just about a hundredth of a second. Ryan Tippy coming up next, and Kip Kaufman alongside. The Columbia, South Carolina 41 model Willys, the old school ride there, and Brian Tippy's 941 cubic inch Fulton competition engine. And that 2018 model Corvette for Schween Motorsports. They call home in Ohio. Currently number 5 in Elite Top Sportsman qualifying at 381.5, 195. And Kip Kaufman sits down there number 34 at 437. Purge the nitrous for both of those race cars as they get ready to approach the pre-stage B. City Garage and Body Shop. Willys here on the right side. Power for both. Thou too soon for Tiffy. Kip Kaufman rides the center line all the way down to the other end of the racetrack at 442, 165, 387, 193 for Brian Tiffy. He will remain number 5 here in Top Sportsman qualifying of Q2. Kip Kaufman, that was going to, I think we're going to go bad there for sure with riding the center line, but kept it straight. Now to hit it in the racetrack in one piece. Dave Muller coming up next. Unfortunately, Nick Rivas is not going to be able to make the call, as the crew member he's seen ran out there, was waiting on the car, and it never showed up. So back to the area they will go. Kind of mechanical failure. Pennington, New Jersey's Muller with the Pontiac GTO here, 665 cubic inches of Billy Albert horsepower. Muller 102 down low after being 005 and 422, 171 miles an hour on his single run. Here was your number 1 qualifier in Bristol a few weeks ago, Bruce Thrift. Coming out of Waycross, Georgia, the roofing contractor, Par Racing engine, powered GTO, and Ron Whitlock will be alongside. A battle between the Pontiac GXB, GTO here on the starting line. Number 3 and 9 qualifiers. By 9 thousandths of a second, Bruce Thrift is that number 1 qualifying spot in the heat. Even the day that we're in right now, comes out on the racing surface. Up there, I don't think that Bruce is going to go for the top qualifying spot. If anything, we've seen a lot of cars slow up about 2 hundredths of a second. Bruce Rift, makes a small move just about half track, 387. 192, slows up quite a bit. 398, Ron Whitlock at 186. Burnouts underway. Donnie Gibbs there on the left-hand side. Chin Camaro, 598 big block for horsepower, 456. The first session puts Donnie Gibbs in the team, the number 43 spot, and JC Garcia come back to the starting line right-hand side with a Pontiac GTO. What a cool job, a NASA engineer, retired. The horsepower to Mike Ford's shop. Jerry Haas built the race car. Garcia turns it loose right side, 0:37 reaction time. And at the top of the racetrack, JC Garcia, 461, 457, 154 for Donnie Gibbs. Now it's going to be Nick Maloney and Joseph Nagel coming up next. VSD Graphics, that's the 63 split window Corvette. Sitting here on the right-hand side, and for Brown Line Construction, Nick Maloney on the driving duties with that 69 Camaro. Nick Maloney, 005 and 405, 180 miles an hour. Nick Maloney has been 001, 003, and 005 in qualifying between top dragster and top sportsman. Nagel, 456 with an 8. Best run of the weekend at 153. Your next pair is going to be Keith Castle and Ronnie Proctor, that Ford Mustang. Comes back to the starting line, left-hand side of the West Virginia. And Keith Castle, Dodge Stratus, HGC Technical Group out of Columbia Station, Ohio. Your attention out of the pit area, please. Attention to the pits. First call for Top Junior Dragster Q2. Top Junior Dragster, this is your first call. Q2, we need you to the staging lanes this time. How about 004 to an 11? Reaction time is good for both drivers, and Keith Castle was 425. 416, Ronnie Proctor at 180 miles an hour.
Cole Whitley, left side out of Locust, North Carolina, the 04 Grand Am. Number 52 on the sheet at a 465.8. And Robbie Stewart here on the right-hand side. Strasburg, Virginia-based GTO. It's number 27 at a 428.4. Bobby Stewart, 11 letting go, 27.3, his best effort so far this weekend. Whitley, Big Red, then a 4.66.7, no help on the qualifying sheet. Top juniors, we need you. Top juniors, we need you. Johnny Brooks, left side of the racetrack. The Tennessee-based 67 Chevy 2 from Mickey Thompson, Wright Trailers and Cox Racing Engines. The number 44 on the sheet, 4.56.8. And Karsten Nyergis here on the right-hand side. The Schween Motorsports 2000 Firebirds, number 33 at a 4.37.2. About a 001 reaction time from Johnny Brooks in the Chevy 2 top end, 4.52, his best run yet at 155 miles an hour. Karsten with a pretty consistent machine at a 4.40. Tim Lawrence, left side. The Phantom Camaro out of Princeton, West Virginia for Albert Race Engines, Professional High Wall Mining and Commonwealth Mining, number 10 on the sheet at a 3.98.2. E.J. Luther here on the right-hand side out of Mooresville, North Carolina. The 02 Camaro had some issues on the opening stanza. Hopefully got them all lined out right here. We'll try to put a number on the sheet. Much better effort for TJ this time. He'll go through at a 4.62.6 at 152 miles an hour. Tim Lawrence 4.031 at 183. Scotty Wise next out, the left side of the racetrack at Ashland, Virginia. The Wise guys, 63 split windows, number 37, had issues. Only went a 4.42. Are very capable of dipping down in the 3-second bracket. Jeff Talvaccio here on the right-hand side. The deep purple Camaro for Wilkins Race Engines and Buddy's Concrete Service. Number 28 on the sheet at a 4.32. Wise, number 9 in the point standings on the elite side. Talvaccio, number 14 in the back half. Past world champion here on the right-hand side, Jeff Talvaccio. Scotty Wise gets the pass he was looking for. 4 flat with a 4 at 187 miles an hour. 4.46 for Telvaccio at 161. Move Scott Wise to number 11 on the elite side. Now Ronnie Proctor sits number 16. He is the bump spot, the number that you see on the scoreboard at 411 with a 4. Next pair, a couple guys that have been alongside each other many times throughout the mid-Atlantic states. Gary Pitts, left-hand side, the Big Mo 03 Mustang for Floors Repair, Wilkins Race Engines, and Stacy Johnson here on the right-hand side. Johnson Family Racing 68 Camaro. Stacy, the higher qualified machine at number 27 with a 427.6. Pitts, number 36 at a 437.9. Top Juniors, we need you. Classic Graphics, Top Junior Dragsters, we need you to the lanes, please. We will take PDRA Pro Junior Dragsters. Pro Juniors will take you to the lanes as well. Pro Juniors will take you. .15 and a 17 on reaction time. Top end to go. Gary Pitts repeats exactly 437.9, 451.6 for Stacy Johnson. So number 8 on the elite side, Dwayne Silence here on the right side of the racetrack. The Hog Farmer out of Jacksonville, North Carolina for Fulton Race Engines, Silence Service Center, cameras, torque converters. He won a 390 with an 8. And Glenn Butcher on the left-hand side. Out of Doylestown, Ohio, the 69 Camaro for Albert Race Engines, Hoosier Tire, Pack Springs, Abruzzi, and Butcher Demolition. With one round of qualifying short, as they were supposed to have a round of qualifying last night, and unfortunately the rains came. Glenn Butcher finds himself on the outside looking in. He's number 38 on the sheet, very capable of going all the way to the number 1 spot, but we'll see if he can get it done here in his final chance at qualifying. Fulton Power right-hand side, Billy Albert horsepower on the left-hand side. Both these drivers past world champions. Butcher figured it out this time, though. He'll make the trip. How about a 484.5, 392.4 for Dwayne Silence. But move Glenn Butcher all the way up to number 7 on the qualifying sheet. And now Dan Ferguson sits number 16 with a 411.0. Trey Garrison, the Duster, backing up here on the right-hand side of the racetrack. Out of Shelby, North Carolina, the All-Ray Tire Centers, Dixon Napa Autos. It's number 39 at a 446. Jamie Fowler, left-hand side, the Pimpin' and Limpin' Camaro for PD Fleet. Out of Ridgeway, South Carolina, LAT Racing Oils, Gopher Utilities, Yonts RV, CNC Chemical, the Fulton Power Plant between the frame rails. Jamie's your number 1 qualifier to 378.8. bit of drama here, though, in Q2, and Jamie Fowler's machine not staying running over there. He is your #1 qualifier. He'll get the motion to bring it up to the starting line. Persian as he comes up. So after all that, it looks like pushed Jamie Fowler's machine off because it would not stay running. Trey Garrison waited patiently over here on the Duster. He'll go a 443, his best effort so far, 158 miles per hour. Top and Pro Junior will take you to the lanes, please. Top and Pro Juniors, we will take you to the staging lanes. If you're not there, you're late. Stacy Hall, Seth Garrison, our next pair out on the racing surface. Hall, left side of the racetrack out of Chesney, South Carolina, the Fulton powered 63 split window. He's number 21 on the sheet at a 4:19.1. And Seth Garrison here on the right-hand side at a Morganton, North Carolina, the All-Rate Tire Center Stratus for Napa, number 31 at a 4:33.3. .007 to a 001, 433. Seth Garrison's car only varies 0.003 of a second. And Stacy Hall's machine only varied 0.009 of a second. So two very consistent hot rods here in Q2 for Stacy Hall and Seth Garrison. Brandon Bachmeyer backs up here on the right-hand side out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, the 04 Grand Am for American Duck, full spectrum power, Nesbitt Performance, and FTI Performance. Number 51 on the sheet at a 4:64.0, and Dan Ferguson sits number 16 on the elite side. The 2000 Viper went a 4:11 at 146. 390 with an 8 at 191 miles an hour for Dan Ferguson. That'll move him off that bump spot all the way up to number 9. Now Mike Keeler is your bump at a 4:08.2. Here comes Derek Brown and Mike Demuth. Brown left-hand side. Crystal Cleaning Service 67 Camaros. Number 46 on the sheet went a 4:57.2. Mike Demuth here on the right-hand side. For Demuth's Auto Service, the 08 Stratus is number 25 at a 4:26.8. Top in this pair goes 4:29.6 for Mike Demuth and 4:60 for Derek Brown. Scott Duggins next down here on the right-hand side out of Inman, South Carolina. The power-powered 63 split window. Your number 4 qualifier so far. At 3:79.8. Scott just less than a round out of the points lead on the elite side. Duggins 386.5, 193 miles an hour. Wagon goes through at a 589, 117. Greg Campbell left side, number 42 on the sheet at a 4:53.7, and Mike Alexander Jr. here on the right-hand side. The Walk and Tall Garage, power-powered Alexander Backhoe Services 63 split window Corvette, number 18 on the sheet at a 4:15.9. Double 08 to an 11 on the tree, 4:53.3, only 4th thou in between Gray's 2 passes. 4:20 with the 3 for Mike Alexander Jr. here on the right-hand side. And that will wrap up Magna Fuel Top Sportsman getting ready to head to Classic Graphics Top Junior Dragsters Q2. Now we jump into the Classic Graphics top 16 will race on race day according to their best qualifying right now. Leads the way with a 10 light. Cooper Coffin actually perfect, but unfortunately went too fast for his age, so that run was disallowed. On the starting line, we have Abby McCafferty left side, Cox Racing Mike Boss chassis, and Callie Van Houten on the right-hand side. And Thomastown, two Georgia-based runners, Thomastown and Waynesboro. Abby goes red, and Callie does not do any justice with a 109 light. 908 to an 896. Callie will stay number 12. Abby number 4. Skylar Decker and Luke Hutchinson, our next pair out. Skylar on the left-hand side out of Paris, Florida. The no change half scale. Mike Decker, Middlesex Metals, ISI Demolition, Maxima Racing Oils, and Decker's Auto Salvage. And Luke Hutchinson here on the right side out of Hampton, Tennessee for Trailer Ranch, PC Motorworks, Go Power Sports, FDI Farm Team, and Redline Oil. Luke number 10, Skylar number 15. Skylar's red, so no change there. Luke Hutchinson's 81, not going to improve on the sheet. Luke was 81 the first time, so 884 to 1115. Jaden Hogan, who was #1 qualifier here in the spring, lines up on the left-hand side for Hogan Motorsports, Redline Oil, O'Mara Realty, and Crawls Racing. And your points leader here on the right side, Wyatt Piercy, out of Salisbury, North Carolina, his 2024 Mike Boss. Wyatt 59, that's the better of the two lights, 892, 951.7 for Jaden. Wyatt going to stay at number 8. Here comes McKenna Hollis on the right-hand side, your number 9 qualifier. Will O'Brien, number 14. Will on the left side. Out of Lewisburg, West Virginia for Greenbrier Excavating. McKenna Hollis on the right side for Weller's Machine. FDI, Hoosier, and Race Star Wheels. .64 red for Will O'Brien, no help. McKenna Hollis, 145 going by the tree, not going to help out things either. 902 to a 935. Mason Dudley, left side of the racetrack for Trick Trucks, Blackwater Contracting, and Hubble Motorsports. And Corbin Helms here on the right-hand side out of Midland, North Carolina for Tough Jug. Mason number 6. Corbin number 7 on the qualifying sheet so far. That'll help. How about a 10 for Mason Dudley and a 14 for Helms? Top in 887.4 for Mason Dudley, 889 for Corbin Helms. And they're at number 2 and 3 on the qualifying sheet. Dudley number 2, Helms number 3. And here comes your number 1 qualifier, Carter Hayes on the right-hand side out of Max Meadows, Virginia. And Annabelle Smith on the left-hand side, the Quick Fuel Machine out of South Hill. Annabelle number 7, Carter number 1. Carter lowers the boom even more as he's 007. Annabelle goes red. 894 for Carter Hayes. 1192 for Annabelle Smith, but Carter had a 10, then he just went 007. He is your number 1 qualifier currently. Camden Bean next out, left side out of Sunset Beach, North Carolina for Riptide Builders. Aislinn Christian on the right-hand side out of Henrico, Virginia, the 2021 Mike Boss chassis. Aislinn number 4. Bean not on the sheet yet, so trying to have a good reaction time right here, get qualified into this field. Red light start for Aislinn, but Camden Bean 73. 909 to an 897. Aislinn stays at number 4. Camden Bean number 10 now. Deegan Kirk and Cooper Coffin. Cooper here on the right-hand side out of Lancaster, South Carolina. Deegan Kirk left side for 304 Motorsports Park. Cooper number 17, the only car on the outside looking in. Deegan Kirk number 14. Cooper goes red. Deegan Kirk 109. $12.05 to an 11.91. But even with that red light, Cooper gets in at number 16. Bumps out Skylar Decker. Connor Boyd out of Bunker Hill, West Virginia. He's going to be our final car in category, number 5 qualifier. no help as Connor is 12 red. 9:14 at 68 miles an hour. Now we move into the older kids, the 790 Index Pro Junior Dragsters. Kylie Wright, Gavin Wood going to be our first pair out. Gavin out of Chesapeake, Virginia, here on the right-hand side for affordable transmissions. 660 race car technology. Number 31 on the sheet. Kylie Wright, left side, number 8. Kylie won a 792.0. On the scoreboard, looking for that 790 run. How about a 790 with a 7 for Gavin Wood? 792 with a 9. Very consistent machine for Kylie Wright, but no movement on the sheet. Gavin Wood will bump up from that number 31 spot all the way to number 4. Good run for Gavin. Alyssa Tillman, right-hand side at Henrico, Virginia. Hubble Motorsports ATI Performance Products, Mike Boss chassis, number 12 on the sheet. And Chloe Garius, your number 1 qualifier, left side of the racetrack, the Heartbreaker Mike Boss chassis for Battery Barn at Huddleston Performance. Won a 790 with a 1. Chloe's red. Goes through at a 794.4, 799.4 for Alyssa Tillman. No movement for either. Number 2 qualifier, Kylie Varner, left side of the racetrack out of Hampton, Virginia, for Power Electric Century 21. And Hunter Roberts on the right-hand side out of Four Oaks, North Carolina. Number 10 on the sheet for Southern Tide Homes, Robco Residential, and Hubble Motorsports. $789.2. Kylie's a little quick by 8 thou. $792.1. Exactly what Hunter Roberts ran the first time, so no movement. Sophia Curtis, left side out of Gambrels, Maryland. 1320 Fab Hubble Performance Machine. Number 14 on the sheet at a 792.9. And Cameron Helms on the right-hand side out of Midland, North Carolina for Tough Jug. Number 8, 792.0. 792.4, no help for Cameron. 794.3, no help for Sophia. Valerie Wright on the left-hand side out of Dinwiddie, Virginia for Virginia Cars and Carts Twisted Concept. On the outside looking in. And Aiden Christian out of Henrico, right-hand side of the racetrack, your number 18 qualifier. .792.5. How about a 790 with the 2 though for Aiden Christian? Move Aiden Christian to the number 2 spot. Ty Smith, left side out of South Hill, Virginia, the quick fuel half scales, number 36 on the sheet. And Emma Crane, not where you want to be on the qualifying sheet, number 32 for Dockside Restaurant and Gull Racing Engines. Ty Smith smacks the tree with a 003 reaction time. All eyes on the scoreboard top end. 794.5 and a 792.5 for Emma Crane. That's the better of the 2. Move Emma Crane all the way up to number 14. Ashton Hollis, left side out of Williamsville, New York, the Weller's Machine, Hoosier Tire, Race Star Wheels, FDI Farm Team Hot Rods, number 20. And Rowan Parlett on the right side, the Robot, out of Mechanicsville, Maryland, for Computech, VP Race Fuels, and Hubble Motorsports. It's number 40 on the outside, looking in. .790 with the 4, but how about Ashton Hollis to the top? 7.900. So move Hollis to the number 1 qualified position. Rowan will go number 5. Cam Robinson, left side out of Greer, South Carolina, for Greenbrier Excavating. 2019 half scales, your number 14 qualifier. And Ivy Galley here on the right-hand side for 1320 Fab, number 37. Ivy Galley just 3 thou too quick. Cam Robinson 1 thou too quick. So no movement for either of those drivers. Top Dragster will take you to the staging lanes, please. Top Dragster for your next round of qualifying will take you to the staging lanes. Calvin Weaver here on the right-hand side out of Brightwood, Virginia. Number 21 on the sheet. Jason Garris, left-hand side. Out of Prince George, Virginia for Battery Barn Huddleston Performance, number 27. 791.0. That'll help out Calvin Weaver. 792.4 going to move Garrius up the ladder as well. Calvin goes all the way up to the number 9 qualified position. Jason Garrius, number 15. Spencer McGee comes out next, left side, number 6 on the sheet at a 790 with the 5. The Peon, South Carolina for Brian's Heating and Cooling and Bucked Up Energy. And James Beatty the 3rd. Number 2 in the point standings here on the right-hand side out of Baltimore, Maryland for ATI Performance Products, Nick Woods Racing Engines, Stroud Safety, Computech, and Maxima Oils. $792.7, no help for Spencer. 790 with the 4 is going to move James Beatty up the sheet. James goes up to number 5. Taylor Rudder, left-hand side. The Jarvis Marine half scales, number 11 on the sheet at a 791.5. 791.5. And Mackenzie Hogan here on the right-hand side for Hogan Motorsports, Redline Oil, and O'Mara Realty. Mackenzie, number 26. Too quick for Taylor Rudder and a little bit slow for Mackenzie Hogan. 797 to a 783.6. Charlie O'Mara, left side out of Clayton, North Carolina, number 9. Shane Daly on the right-hand side, number 28. To the top end they head. Too quick for Charlie, 789.0, and a little bit slow for Shane Daly, 797. Cameron Boyd, right-hand side out of Bunker Hill, West Virginia for Ameritech Tire and Auto. BG Automotive Products, number 23 on the sheet. Naden Tillman, the first car on the outside looking in for ATI Performance Products and Hubble Motorsports. But no movement. 796.2 for Aiden Tillman. And I believe that will be enough to get Aiden Tillman into the show, number 28. Maddox Lyons left side for Lyons Custom Motorsports, and Alyssa Raven here on the right-hand side. Alyssa not in the program, neither Maddox. Alyssa's 008 going by the tree. 793.0, 792.8. That should be enough to get both of them into the program. Maddox will go number 21. Alyssa number 24. Jaden Dickerson now on the bump spot, number 32. Malia Curtis and Connor Hayes going to be our next pair. Connor Hayes solidly qualified, number 12 at a 791.7. He'll be on the right side. Malia Curtis for 1320 Fab and Hubble Motorsports, not in the program, on the left-hand side, number 34. $792.2, not going to move Connor Hayes anywhere. 838, a little bit slow there for Malia. Not sure what went wrong with that machine. Jaden Booker and Sophie Cooper, two cars on the outside looking in. Jaden will be on the left side out of Chesterfield, Virginia. Sophie Cooper on the right-hand side. The Midnight Rider half scale for Proctor Enterprises, West Custom, Snyder's Auto Detailing, and Hubble Motorsports. Sophie number 4 in the standings, so needs to get this car qualified. $792.2 will do it. $794.2 for Jaden Booker. That should get Jaden in the program as well. $792.2 good enough for number 16 for Sophie Cooper. Jaden Booker goes 26. Now Aiden Tillman, the bump spot, number 32. Donald O'Mara III, left-hand side, out of Clayton, North Carolina. The Lucky Duck Mike Boss chassis for Birch Brothers Flooring. Seville Masonry, O'Mara Realty, Jack McLam Law, number 24 on the sheet. Ethan Santmeyer here on the right side, out of Summerville, South Carolina. The 2015 half scales on the outside, looking in, number 35. .42 red and .42 green. All eyes on the scoreboard. Too quick for Ethan. 793.3. Not going to help O'Mara as he's within 3 thou of his prior run. Caitlin Page, number 29. On the sheet, wants to move up. She is your points leader there, left side of the racetrack, out of Forest, Virginia. And Jaden Dickerson on the right-hand side, out of Christiansburg, Virginia. The AA Transmissions 23 half scale, number 34. So Caitlin Page, way down on the bottom side of the qualified field, wants to move up the ladder right here. Up the qualifying sheet. 791.8 will do it. Jaden goes 9 thou too quick. But 791.8 will move Caitlin Page all the way up to the 13th qualified position, safely into the field. Ryan Santmeyer, left side. Somerville, South Carolina, number 38 on the qualifying sheet. And Mallory Maddox here on the right-hand side. The Rustburg Auto Neighbors Lawn Care Freeman's Mobile Wash Hot Rod is number 31. Top dragster, we've called you. Top dragster, we have called you. You should be in the staging lane. .786.5 too quick for Mallory. 794.5 for Ryan Santmeyer. Brian Atkins and Knox Schween, two drivers not in the program yet. Schween here on the right side out of Medina, Ohio. For S&W Motorsports, Mickey Thompson and Fuel Tech. Brian Atkins, left-hand side out of Bluefield, West Virginia. .792.3, that should get Brian Atkins in. Not 796.0, not going to be quick enough, I don't believe, for Knox Schween. No, the bump spot now, Mackenzie Hogan at a 794 with an 8. And two more drivers not in the program. TJ Harvey, left side. Holland Enterprises, CK Motorsports 2022 Mike Boss chassis. And C.J. Jenkins, our most recent winner on tour, here on the right side. For Redline Oil, FTI, Pro Staffing Solutions, and DW Matt Company. Neither driver qualified currently. TJ and CJ head to the finish line, and both of them going to be too quick. CJ just 2 thou too quick. 11 thou too quick, though, for TJ Harvey. Lily Stedding and Lane Morgan, two more not qualified. Stedding on the left-hand side for P2. Lane Morgan on the right-hand side for D&T Enterprises. 791.3 for Lane Morgan. That'll get it done. Lily's too quick. 787.1. But Lane Morgan going to make his way all the way up to number 11 on the qualifying sheet. Now a 794.5 is the bump spot. Autumn Atkins in the final car and category. Number 45 on the sheet out of Bluefield, West Virginia. .790 with the 5. Move Autumn Atkins into the program all the way up to number 7 on the sheet. Sorry.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
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 Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Virginia, get ready for a 4-day full throttle weekend. September 17th through 20th, Virginia Motorsports Park, the Pro-Line Racing PDRA World Final. Thursday, fans get in free for the PDRA Pro Stars race. Friday night, the party's on with Lady Smith live on stage. Saturday's Night of Fire with Jet Cars, Nostalgia Fun Cars, and more. Sunday, World Champions race for the crown. Buy a PDRA Fast Pass, just $30. Good Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See it, hear it, feel it. PDRA.
You're watching the Redline Oil PDRA on FloRacing, the most competitive heads-up 8th mile racing in the world.
Amber, you go 372 here at Galat, and you had a pretty successful outing in Bristol. How confident are you coming into this race and at a racetrack that you've had a lot of success at?
Yeah, I'm super excited. We were feeling good in Bristol. We unfortunately had a parts failure second round that costed us. Definitely had a tough competitor against Marcus, but carrying the momentum into the rest of the year, I'm really excited. We had a slow start this season, so I'm hoping to close it out on a few more win lights.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.
Buddy Perkinson, you find yourself in the top 5 here in qualifying, and I only say that because we don't know what Tommy ran, but you are a few rounds back out of this points championship. What's your approach here, and how are you going to use that for Durana?
Yeah, I think, you know, me and Jeff and Brian, we talked, we want to be a little more aggressive this race than we have been all year. It's kind of a, you know, nothing to lose mentality. We really got to make up at least 2 rounds this race. And if not, then you know, it's probably over for us. But we've still had a good year. we tried to race all year with just a consistent mindset, and it's gotten us to this point. But now I think we're going to try to get after it a little more than usual.
Thank you, Buddy. And if you didn't know, Buddy is 4 rounds back out of that #1 spot. So if he makes up 2 here, has a good showing at World Finals, he'll find himself right in the top.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here with Jeff Rudolph, and you started out with a bang, 364, but it was straight and true, and you have something to build off of after Q1.
Yeah, we do. We made a 63 pass first run yesterday, then a 66 with me lifting. Just trying some new stuff in the cab, just trying to get the chutes out a little bit early. That worked really well on that one. Driving good. The tuner's awesome. My guys are awesome. They're flawless. Can't thank them enough, man. We're on point this weekend. I think we got something.
And you haven't been to the PDRA this year yet. What made you come out here to Galot and run with these boys?
I don't know. It's a lot of good competition. If you want to get better, you got to run with these guys.
It is. I always say, like, PDRA is some of the best heads-up drag racing that I've ever witnessed, and I've witnessed a lot of drag racing. Now, I want to talk about what's on the side of your car. Not only Pro Charger, obviously one of my favorites, but tell me how this name, Ghetto Sleigh, came to light.
So the Ghetto Sleigh came, I believe I had the turbos on the old car, and in Bradenton, and kind of banged the front end up, and someone kind of came over, and they're like, man, this car looks ghetto. And I'm like, I think I got something here, because the original car was called Rudolph Sleigh. So I'll just change it to Ghetto Sleigh. And it's kind of stuck ever since.
A lot of swagger. Well, good luck to you this weekend. You could definitely come in here and spoil some things for this championship we got going on.
That's our intention.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Look
you.
forward to it.
.430 with a 2, .437 with a 1. No movement for either driver. Bill Fordyce next out on the left side out of Harmony, North Carolina. And Ricky Molnar right side. Seville, Ohio-based Gem Attachments American chassis. Fordyce with a 385.5 at 189. Ricky Molnar 428.5, 163. Moved Bill Fordyce up into the elite side. Number 10, Taylor Hollins, now your number 16 qualifier to 414. Stephen Boone, left side out of Ingleside, Maryland. The 2017 racecraft, or Sunset Racecraft. Rogers Automotive. East Coast chassis, number 33 on the sheet. Number 2 in the point standings. On the back half, Stephen Boone and Tommy Brown here on the right-hand side for Brown Line Construction. 431 for Stephen Boone, 478 for Tommy Brown. Brian Anderson, left side, out of Carson, Virginia, the 2023 race tech. And Kim Messer out of Newton Grove, North Carolina, for Messer Construction here on the right-hand side. Brian Anderson, 373.1 at 198. 436.4, Kim Messer's best effort. But move Brian Anderson up to the number 7 qualified position. Now Bruce Holland is number 16. Will Kaufman, left side. The 22 race tech out of Lancaster, South Carolina, and Lindsey Coleman. Coleman on the right-hand side, the 2017 American chassis for Donnie and Julie Wilson. Cam's Racing Engines and Pro Charger. Number 12 qualifier to 385.9. Coleman. Chad Trailer, right side. For Mickey Thompson, House of Pain, Par Racing Engines. Number 18 on the sheet at a 420 with a 1. And Steve King, left-hand side, out of Strasburg, Virginia. The RS Fleet Services Machines, number 51. .447.3 for Steve King, 423.4 for Chad Trailer. Dave Muller, left side, out of Pennington, New Jersey. The Muller Automotive 2019 American for Gen Y Hitch is number 32 on the sheet at a 427.3. And Kevin Roof here on the right side on Mechanicsville, Maryland for Gibson Steel and Powder Coating. The 09 American chassis for American Elevator. Brady Mechanical is number 29 at a 425.8. To the top, and they charge 4:29.9 for Kevin Rue, 4:30 with a 6 for Dave Muller. Your number 4 qualifier in the lead side backs up on the left side of the racetrack out of Granville, Ohio, the Rapid Transit Race Tech of Bruce Westphal and Ken Batchelor here on the right-hand side. Number 55 on the sheet out of Leland, North Carolina for Nesbitt. Abruzzi, VP Race Fuels. The 2020 Americans, number 55 on the sheet. .374.2 for Bruce Westphal. No improvement there. Mark Payne and Dickie Smith, our next pair out. Both of them on the elite side. Payne, number 15. He'll be on the right side of the track. Thompson and Dickie Smith side. The Corbin Smith, 28. Horn Loud. Tech and Total Power Battery. 6.5 first attempt. Smith goes through 386.3, 415.8 for Mark Payne. Rodney Pryor, right side. Number 35 on the sheet, 427.4. Matt Buck on the left-hand side out of West Palm Beach, Florida. For Mickey Thompson Tires, Mazier, FTI, and HRE. Jimmy Albertson left side out of Wallace, North Carolina. Greg Slack here on the right. Greg Slack. I believe he's using a Coyote platform in between the frame rails of the Critical Thinking machine. 308 cubic inches. Probably the smallest in category. He's been a 422.2. through the beams. This number won't be quite what he was looking for. 482, 163 miles an hour. 424.9 for Jimmy Albertson. No change in the sheet on that run. Kevin O'Brien, left side. Lewisburg, West Virginia, the Greenbrier Excavating 2023 Race Tech. Number 25 on the sheet at a 4:22.7. And Chaz Silence here on the right-hand side out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. For Silence Service Center, the 2010 Worthy chassis, number 5 on the sheet at a 3:71.5. Issues for O'Brien. Chaz Silence go through at a 3:78.5. Russ Rinaldi, left-hand side for Red Line Oil. And Nick Maloney, right side of the racetrack out of Brentwood, New Hampshire. Pit Stop Auto. Next Gen Race Cars, Oakley Performance. 36 on the sheet at a 4:29.2. No movement for either driver with those efforts. Number 1 qualifier. O'Brien, West Virginia based. Greenbrier Excavating 2023 Race Tech for Barry Allen Race Engines, Weavers Automotive, PT. Number 38 on the sheet at a 4:30 with a 7. Into pit area. Bracket Bash, we need you. Bracket Bash, we need you to the lanes, please. Bracket Bash, we need you. Allen, sounds like you might have chattered the tires on that one. 4:68.1. Hart goes through 4:46.
He's going to bring up Justin Kirk over there on the left-hand side, coming out of West Virginia. M&M chassis machine, 565 cubic inches, a big block Chevrolet holding up the hood scoop, and that great-looking blue and white dragster.
Yeah, Brian Mullison out of Stafford, Virginia, here on the right-hand side. The Ray siding 2013 American chassis with the Beal power plant between the frame rails. He's number 51 on the sheet at a 442 with a 3.
Which is a big block Chevrolet combination. And so when we saw that Coyote come up here, it's like, that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, but that's a pretty cool combination.
It absolutely is. And only that one Coyote and I believe a couple LS platforms is all we see out here, which is kind of surprising. Through the traps they go. Nobody's going to improve. 440 with a 7 for Kirk, 467 for Mullison. Lauren Freer's going to come out next, left side of the racetrack out of Mooresville, North Carolina for Wright Trailers. And Mickey Thompson, number 57 on the sheet at a 491.3. Brandon Bachmeyer here on the right-hand side out of Fredericksburg, number 54, 462. .422.8 is going to be the better of the two, and that goes to Lauren Freer. Going to move her up the sheet. 170 miles an hour, all the way up to number 26.
So she's ready to race, that's for sure.
A very decorated racer, for sure. Lee Dixon next out, left side out of Chesterfield, Virginia. The 22 Race Techs, number 19 at a 420 with a 9, and Cody Cooper. Here on the right-hand side out of Spotsylvania, Virginia, the CMR Crane and Rigging Race Techs, number 54 on the sheet.